Hey, Michael,
Yeah, Joe.
do you know you can get your ServiceMonster subscription for free?
Wait, really?
Yeah, all you got to do is click that referral friend button in the upper right-hand corner of either 5 or 6, and there's a form. If you fill that out with a service provider that you know, and they purchase with us, you get a 1 month free.
Wait, so what if I fill it out 12 times in a year?
The whole year's covered.
Wow, that's crazy.
And if you do that once a year, you'll never have to pay for ServiceMonster again. But wait, there's more. Here's a bonus. By helping ServiceMonster and referring service businesses, you're helping us grow and make a better, stronger product that's going to help you grow your business.
Dang, that's awesome. I'm going to go press the button right now.
Nice. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ServiceMonster podcast. My name is Joe Kowalski, and I am your host today. We're going to talk about, well, we've got Michael here, so you can guess we're going to talk a little bit about marketing. Every time we bring him on, it's kind of like his go-to. He wants to focus on branding and logos specifically. How do you choose your colors? How much attention should you pay to this? Should you just grab something out of clip art? Should you pay the money to go get the big wrap and the big brand? We're going to have that discussion, but first, some house cleaning. Michael, what do we have today?
Well, first of all, we just want to remind everyone the experience is coming up next week. Actually, when this is out, it'll be the week.
Holy cats.
Yeah, so September 18th through 20th.
Now, it was much earlier last year because I saw the bump in leads, which we're still killing, by the way. 50% increase in lead acquisition. So we are pretty pumped around here in the last month since the trials come out. Things have really started gaining some momentum.
Yep. Yeah, so September 18th through 20th in Las Vegas. Skylar and Annette are both going to be there, our sales team. So if you're there, stop by, say hi to them.
Take a selfie.
Take a selfie. And what you said last podcast, I think, like send it to you.
Razz me.
Yeah, of course. You can try our new mobile app if you haven't there. Check out the newest features. I think we're doing a couple giveaways as well. So you can enter to win whatever those are going to be. I don't remember exactly what they are. We'll figure it out. We'll get it though. There'll be giveaways.
I just work here.
Yeah, you just work here. Exactly. Yeah, same. Also, there's a couple new marketplace editions, which are pretty exciting.
Yes.
Pink Collars is one of them.
Woo-hoo.
They're kind of a call center staffing agency, but they're more than just a answering service. They're kind of a full hands-on remote office person for your service business.
And I've heard good things about them. Like any call center, you start to approach the danger zone at about 50 clients. They're there, but here's the flip to this. She's ridiculously staffed. I mean, to the hilt. Like, I can't believe it type staffed. So she's got a shot at some numbers, and if she can balance the equation, then she'll make it work. Now, the other kicker to that, of course, is turnover. That's why we... Well, besides distraction, but that's why we gave up super agents. But man, it sounds like she's really trying to build a culture over there that's going to, have some quality individuals who are going to stick around. So I would encourage you guys to check it out. I haven't heard anybody who's using her directly.
Not any ServiceMonster clients yet, I don't believe.
Right.
Yeah.
But man, I love the model. I love her attitude. She's doing the right marketing. She's hooking up to all kinds of stuff. So I would encourage you to check her out. If you guys have been like, man, we miss super agents and I wish you had those back, or you're not really satisfied with now keeping in mind that you need to shift your expectations, right? They're not going to be as good as your office staff ever. But in lieu of an office staff, you can't afford them. Trying to get off the truck. Same reason why we created super agents. It's an invaluable service. You just have to align your expectations a little bit so you're not expecting the moon. And they're certainly not going to be as good as super agents. But, try them out. I think they're going to be a great company. I think I'm curious to watch her move through this process. So it's fun.
Yeah, it's really cool to be a part of. They seem like a really cool company.
And it's something that's so needed.
Yeah, it is.
But the expectation has to be set correctly coming in, right? We had to do the same thing.
Yep. Exactly. Another one that we just put in today, Hatch. They're kind of a sales pipeline automated follow-up software. They're big for the HRI users. I know ChemDry works with them a lot. So another option if you want
Shout
to
out to
automate.
Erica Herman for putting that deal together.
Exactly. Yeah. They're kind of, if you just want to automate more of your sales follow-up process, another one to check out. That's on your ServiceMonster 6
Marketplace.
Tab. On the tab on the side towards the bottom. On 5, it's up top, right? They're up top.
Is there a full-blown marketplace in 5?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, full-blown marketplace. Got the flippy things on it. They flip over.
Last time I logged into 5.
It's been a while.
Get over to 6, people. It's time.
Yeah, we shouldn't even mention 5. I didn't mention 5.
No, I'll mention 5 to get them over. Like,
if
you guys aren't moving over, I need to know why at this point.
Yeah.
I knew why before. I wouldn't know why now, other than I don't want to.
Yeah.
And don't make me change my process.
Yep.
And I know how to do my job.
I mean,
so I get those. And if those are those, fine. Eventually,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't, as long as we're not supporting it and fixing it all the time, then, which we're not. So it doesn't really cost us anything to leave it around.
Yep.
But get to 6 because it's so much better and we'll be so much well supported and we'll be so much overall the functionality and is just unbelievable compared to 5 at this point.
Plus, you'll be getting new features if you're in 6. If you're in 5, you're not going to be getting anything new ever. We're constantly improving the product, constantly releasing new features,
Yes.
and those are in 6, not in 5.
That's
so
right.
It's worth it.
Yep. And I know a lot more people are moving over too because I'm getting questions from people that I personally did onboarding from like 6 or 7 years ago who I know are just stuck and said, okay, you got the schedule finally right. Now there's no reason for me. A couple days later, okay, I really like it. And holy crap, I keep finding new things. But the one that I keep getting is, how am I going to convince my staff? So I'm like, I don't know how to tell you to do that.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, anyway, we'll get off that horse.
Yep. Yeah. But seriously, switch to 6. It's better. It's worth it. Anyways, moving into SMUG, the big SMUG post of the week, courtesy of you, Joe.
Dun, dun, dun.
You can talk about it more. I think there's a lot of questions. This is about SMTP. If you're in SMUG, you saw it about us providing the default SMTP service and then discontinuing that at some point.
Yes.
So, Joe, what do you want to say about that? Just to clarify.
Yeah, so let me go backwards like I was explaining it to my children from when they were the smallest to the biggest. So I'm explaining it to my 6-month-old, 3-month-old, 4-month-old. Somewhere around there, 3 or 4-month-old. It depends if you added together the sleep that you get or don't get. I would say, A, functionality inside ServiceMonster is not changing. B, functionality inside ServiceMonster is not changing. You will be able to send your emails, do your drip campaigns, do all of that stuff. So I want to be very, very clear with that because then people immediately freak out and get confused because they don't understand a word of what I'm about to say next. Which is,
here we go.
In order to send an email to you, I need to use a protocol and a pipeline. We send messages around the internet on the HTTP, right? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. That's how we send documents back and forth across the internet. And some of us have figured out really hacky and clever and amazingly technically complex ways to create these rich experiences by simply sending documents back and forth on this pipeline. In order to send an email to somebody, you've got to use the same pipeline or the same concept of a pipeline. The pipeline's called SMTP or Simple Mail. Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So that's the pipe that you send email through. That pipe is managed by a service company, which right now, ServiceMonster has a vendor. We pay a company to provide us with a generic SMTP service so you can send your emails through ServiceMonster without knowing about any of this crap. I'm going to take it away. Bottom line. It's going to happen. It's going to be slow and methodical, and we'll do it in stages, and it'll be new users first who are told on their setup wizards and training videos that, hey, step 2 after logo is go set up your SMTP. Here's how to do it. 9 out of 10 CRMs do exactly this. They do not provide default SMTP services, and they make you go hook them up on your own. You can get a free one from Gmail that will allow you up to 500 emails a day. And you can take the 3 fields and copy and paste them into the 3 fields in ServiceMonster's account, and then you can use Gmail's SMTP. And then all of the email functionality within ServiceMonster will work as it does now. Okay. So that's the technical side of it. Why are we taking it away? Okay. So the first reason is your deliverability on that pipeline sucks. If you're monitoring who gets your emails and where it goes into spam, sometimes it will go into spam and sometimes not others. And you'll be like, well, that's odd. But it'll happen at scale. Like 20% of the email you goes out, 30% of the email you go out will suddenly all start going into spam. That's because everybody uses that same pipeline. And someone pisses in the pipeline, the whole pipeline's ruined. And so the reputation has to be cleaned up. And that's our job. So not only do I pay money every month for a service that's increasing in cost, and I haven't increased prices on an individual client ever in their entire history, 16 years, our costs are going up. But this pipeline is a shared pipeline, and it gets tarnished. And so the deliverability rates of these emails go down. That's bad for you. Some people recognize that immediately, and they know what's up, and they'll just switch to their own SMTP services because they've been through this before, or they're familiar with the general system itself. There are other individuals who have no idea exists or is happening behind the scene. And then there are some people who don't know for a while and then find out or get frustrated and then blame ServiceMonster for the non-deliverability. There are 2 things that affect the deliverability of your emails. Content is number 1, and the reputation of the pipeline you're using is number 2. And they're both equally important, because if you have the wrong content, if you say the wrong words, you have the wrong attachment, you look like spam, Google will ship you to spam. And if you're using a pipeline that's poor reputation, then Google will ship you to spam. And so people get pissed off, and then we coach them through and say, look, just use your own SMTP service. Here you go. And then they're happy, and they're like, oh my gosh, why didn't we know about this ahead of time? And it's like, well, we communicate this. We said in blogs, I've done an ask. You know what I mean? Like, we communicate. We buy emails and we buy Facebook ads just to communicate these ideas. And not everything gets through, even for the people who want to consume all of our content. I don't know if you could. We just pump out so much. I mean, not as much as we used to. I think we've refined it down to, a way to communicate to our clients and potential prospects that's really benefits both us and you guys. But yeah, this SMTP thing is a bane in my side. And then someone will go out and blast, right? It's like, well, we have SMUG partially so you can express your frustration and feel like you're being heard, and then we can act on that feedback all in one place. So, but when you go out, on some other random group and make a post before contacting other people in SMUG or me personally or whatever, then it creates an interesting environment, which is like has a dog pile effect, especially for the ServiceMonster haters lurking in the shadows. And you know who you are. You're the ones who want to be on ServiceMonster, but you kind of stuck with where you're at. There's some legit people who are like, no, I love where I'm at. Like the grass isn't greener. Get real, though. The grass is greener, man. It just is. Now, there's lots of reasons why you wouldn't move over, and I have told plenty of people, look, ServiceMonster's making the move doesn't make sense. I digress. Moving back to email. So that's the deal. There's a whole bunch of reasons why I don't want to have to deal with this anymore. And I don't think I should be culpable in the poor deliverability of your email. Does that make sense? I think I take some of the burden here when our email isn't being delivered on our pipeline. So I take that seriously because everything is my fault.
Yep.
And so what's the easy way to fix it? Because I can't actually fix it. The only way I could fix it is if I started charging you guys individually for individual SMTP services that we hook up via an API. So in layman terms, if I would start charging you a monthly fee to use an SMTP that I designate strict to you. I mean, if that's a potential solution, let me know in the comments. Like, I might be open to that.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, you're nickel and dime. No. Again, we're trying to provide quality services, control our costs, and at the same time produce the best product. And the fact of the matter is, the SMTP pipeline that exists on ServiceMonster by default is not the best product. That's just it. And so you guys know I shut down $35,000 a month in revenue because it wasn't the best product. Like, I don't play when it comes to this stuff. So, yeah, I'm pissed. Yeah, I'm frustrated. Yes, there's a whole bunch of reasons why it can go away. I'm not going to take the rug out from under you. We'll take our time. In the end, it's going to go away.
Yep.
One thing I do want to point out for you really, really super savvy people, and you know who you are, gumming up my pipeline, but yet sending your emails and invoices through your own SMTP service, I am going to give you 2 lanes. So I'll let you buy 2 separate SMTP services, hook them both up, direct one for marketing and drip, and direct one for your everyday use. So that way you can have Google or Gmail. You can use it only for sending invoices, keep that reputation management clean. Because, even if you keep your list clean, you're going to get some reputation issues that you're going to have to deal with. That's just a fact of running a business. Learn how to do this stuff already if you don't know about it or have someone who does.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Well,
all right.
That's covered. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
done.
good. Now it's clear. I think anyone can understand that. So that's perfect.
I don't know if that's true, but okay.
Well,
Justin, did you understand that?
For the most part.
Okay,
it's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah,
How about
probably.
that? How about that? There we go. All right, moving on. So Ethan Dell had a post saying, "Is there a way to change the site address in the new app? I can't seem to find it. I had to do it in the old app." And you commented saying 3 things we are tackling. The first one is optimization. We're closing that one quickly.
Yep.
The second one is better site management.
Yep.
Third will be accounts receivable.
Yes.
So just, I think the intent with this post and for our discussion here is just for you to kind of outline a quick kind of mobile roadmap over the next month. Or
So number
whatever.
one, Brian's taking a vacation, well-deserved vacation. So he'll be gone for a week, hanging out with some family on the east side. So before he leaves, he's trying to get a push out on Monday, which is phase 2 of the optimization, which focused on the home screen. And the results are super duper awesome.
Awesome.
So there was so much room. Like, we didn't even have to get super deep architecturally. We were just like, oh, here's a whole bunch of plumbing that was left over during the construction of the app.
Yeah. Let's
just clean that up. And that's what he did, and it looks awesome. And then he fixed a handful of friction points and annoying bugs.
Okay.
So that will go out on Monday. And then he's gone for a week. And then when he comes back, he's going to focus on just the straight up schedule and job fetch. Okay. And again, huge amounts of low hanging fruit in order to get that dialed in to super snappy. And so I'm very excited. It's not going to be difficult at all.
Sweet.
And within a short period of time, the optimization performance improvements will be done.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. And then after that, we've talked about a couple different things, and between now and then, something can pop up. I'd really like, though, to tackle that accounts receivable bit.
Yeah, that
you're looking
site
at
management.
Yeah, especially now that you can text and email links to your clients to have them pay online. So if you have that set up, can you imagine just sitting in your truck at the end of the day before going in and bringing up who still owes you money and hasn't paid you?
Yep.
The last time you've sent them anything, you select a batch of them and you send them a templated batch email. And so they each get individual emails, right? But in this case, it would be just you're selecting, hey, do this with this group of them, or they get texts or whatever.
Yep.
And you're just like, pay me, bitches. You get that to the end of the day. So, I'm super excited by that. But even that's not necessarily mean done. This optimization for me is like done, because all the complaints that we're getting at this point, which are a very small number, but very vocal, are about this sluggish performance on larger bits of data.
Yep.
And I'll let you in a little secret. They're pulling down a year's worth of data. So if you run a large operation and you're doing like NPS, 14 trucks, 4 jobs a day, 5 days a week, and then a handful on the weekends, times 52 weeks a year. It's a giant amount of data, and they're making that request on the regular.
Yeah,
so
that's insane.
Yeah, and so and then it takes a long time to sift through it too. Once it's on the other side, you only want to show one job. You got to go sort through all that information to go pull that one job. So, and it, it was fine during development. They were just like, let's get this part done and then move forward with all the bits that Joe's cracking the whip about, right? So this is just a cleanup effort. So, we're just going to get the data live to start with. But we do know that we have the capability of running in offline mode. And so that's what the architecture was kind of testing. The sluggish performance had to do with a handful of things that really aren't going to come into play when we have the option to go into offline mode. But we will have 2 ways to deal with the data. One is your live and one is your disconnected. Yeah. So we got to refine the live because we went too far on the disconnected as a test. But again, lots of room to squeeze it out. Low-hanging fruit. We should be able to knock that out in no time. So I would say that's the next 3 weeks.
Cool.
And then, of course, any little things that pop up. We do have to sort out the site management. It's a massive hole. We've never run use cases against it. When we do, we'll clean it up. It won't be hard. But to switch to a different site on the current record, to update the site itself, to do that through the process, whether it's a job or an order or on your account. So I'm aware, especially for you guys who work with a handful of sites, I apologize. You just got to dial it in on the client before you take it out in the field. Yeah.
I mean, I think at the very least we're getting great feedback from that, which is awesome. You're saying we haven't explored use cases before, but now we're getting them from you guys, from the users, which is helpful. Getting like, hey, this is what I needed to do, and it's like, oh, cool, we didn't think about that. Perfect, let's do it.
Totally.
So yeah. Let me skip this one here. I don't know. Adam put it in there. He wasn't feeling well today, so I'm just going to skip that one.
Well, let's just jump in the reason why you're here then.
Yes, I was going to say we can.
Because we want to talk about a handful of things like logo.
We covered some big stuff already. So.
We did. But I do want to give value to, people outside of ServiceMonster.
Yeah.
And I've seen as of late on the bulletin boards, people asking about, updating their logos or getting new logos. And man, I just can't believe the still amount of people who use Microsoft clip art. So can we please get these guys educated on logos and branding? Yep. So how do you want to tackle this?
Well, I kind of want to break it up into, I think the main thing I want to talk about is visual branding, but there's also other branding elements that I want to talk about at the end. So just kind of overall, some key points about having a business, having a brand. Do you want me to just go off on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, as a business, you have a brand, you are a brand. I think that's something that a lot of service businesses don't understand, is that their name, the visual identity, how they look, how they present themselves, all of that is encompassed by their brand.
That's right. Part of ServiceMonster brand is big fluffy beards.
Exactly. Well, not mine. I mean,
well, no, but there's enough of us. If you go look at that,
like Adam too. You guys.
Well, Adam came in shavy face.
Yep. But yeah, seriously though, like there's so many elements that make up a service business's brand, any business, but obviously we're applying it to service businesses here. So kind of what you need to do as a business, you need to promote your brand as a whole. You need to make your brand memorable,
sticky.
Yeah, make it unique. If there's something you can do to make it unique, that's a big focus of this talk, I guess, is trying to make it unique, or at least getting to a level where you're at least doing as well as your competitors. I guess there's so many people who are just, like you said, they're using clip art logos, and it's just like, man, like at least get to a certain level, and then you can maybe focus on improving from there.
Right.
Another big thing is consistency across all of your marketing materials.
Huge.
Visually.
I'm insane about it.
Yeah, it's like you have to be consistent. You can't use like a color scheme here on your van and then like a whole different color scheme with different logos and like a different font on your
business
flyers
cards,
or business cards, your door hangers, whatever.
Yep.
You can't
Website,
do that.
Website, digital media, Facebook, Instagram.
It's bad. Don't do that. So just don't get something figured out that you like, stick to it. And one thing that you brought up earlier, starting with your van or truck wrap, with that, because that's a pretty large investment out of the gate in terms of marketing materials.
And the main reason I like you guys to start with your wrap, and I don't mean start, right? You should do some homework ahead of time and feel it out and then get some professional help.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, when you really decide like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to tighten up the whole thing end to end, start with your truck. Because it's the biggest purchase, and it'll force you to sort out all the details. And the details are pretty simple. There's a color scheme. Mm-hmm. There is font selection. Mm-hmm. There is an imagery, and that imagery proportional to the size of your main name, optional tagline. And those things, especially that color element, starts to bleed over into everything else that comes after it. And so once your wrap is done, once your truck is done, or at least once the design is done, that gives you a really great starting point to then spin off business cards and brochures and postcards. And I'm going to take a little side, especially, look, guys, if you're going to get design work, Ryan Kittering is amazing, right? Prolific prints.
Yeah. I'll put a link in the description.
Absolutely. Put a link in the description.
Page. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I've ran across all kinds of designers over these 16 years we've been doing this. He's the only one who's consistent. He loves it. He gave up his carpet cleaning business to start doing design work. Top-notch guy. All right. Yep. All that being said, I got a bone to pick with not him, but just a general way a post went down, because somebody was asking about getting work done for business cards. And my comment, and somebody was like, oh, how about Ryan? And then somebody was like, oh, no, Ryan won't do that, making a joke. And I came back and I was like, well, you don't use a shotgun to kill a fly. So part tongue-in-cheek and part to get the client at Ryan's door, I went, why don't you do this? Have them design a postcard for you, and then have them give it to you in layers, and then you can mess with the business cards, and then if you get new employees or whatever, you can get the process down and change it. Yeah. And then I got snarky comments, something like, what are you doing? Like telling them secrets, and that's not good business for... I was like, that's a bunch of bullshit. It's good business for Ryan because I was helping to drop a client at his door. And these guys are all tongue in cheek anyways. So, people are too sensitive. Gosh, sensitive people.
Yep. Well, moving back to branding. One thing also is your business name.
Yes.
I have kind of a lot of questions here for people to consider. Like, what does your name communicate? Is it clever? Is it creative? Is it plain? Is it boring?
I got one right off. Wait.
What?
Here you go. Watch this. I was just scrolling through Facebook. Okay. 2 moms and a mop.
2 moms and a mop.
That's a horrible brand because of the connotation. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's all over the nation, because on the maid service boards I follow, they just found out about it and they're rolling all over the place about it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There's also some funny ones, though. One of my favorite ones is a company in Florida, a pressure washing company called Sasquatch.
Oh, nice.
And so it's SASQ Wash.
Yeah.
And their logo is like a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I
where are they
messaged them
located?
in Florida. Which is weird. Yeah, they don't even talk about Sasquatch.
We own the
there.
Sasquatch.
I know. I talked to him about that.
Baby.
He's like, yeah, it'd probably be a lot more effective up there because they have some other Sasquatch-related thing in Florida that's
I love it.
Not called. It's called like the swamp something.
How many Sasquatch businesses are there in Florida, though?
Not very many.
0.
So that's why.
As opposed to Pacific Northwest, you can't swing a dead fish, salmon without hitting a Sasquatch.
Yep, exactly. But that's just an example that off the top of my head of one that's like it was memorable to me because it was clever and it was kind of funny, but it wasn't like weird, you know. It's like Sasquatch and it has a Sasquatch logo. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's like awesome.
What was the Men in Kilts? What was it?
I don't remember.
Oh gosh, we work with them. They're a window cleaning company. They wear kilts, and their tagline's "No peeking" because they climb up on ladders all day long.
Let me search it real quick.
Yeah,
if I can find it. Is it called Men in Kilts? I see
think-
Men in Kilts.
I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah.
window cleaning service. Yeah, up in Canada.
No. They're like all over the place.
Well, there's a bunch up in
I don't know
Canada.
if it's an official franchise or if it's like a branding kind of network, but those guys are cool. They have some really good Instagram runs too. So if you guys are looking for inspiration.
meninkilts.com.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, another creative.
So yes,
name.
creative names. Yes. ServiceMonster.
Yep. There we go.
It took me longer to name that than any one of my 6 children.
Well, I mean, it's probably a little bit harder. I don't know. Something. You can't change. You can't change either name. I guess you can't change your kid's name. Can't change your company name. Got to make. Well, that's a good point though. Actually,
Rebranding. Yeah.
is like to you, this company is like a child.
Yes.
And you can't change your kid's name.
Not easily.
I mean, you can, but you usually won't. And so pick a name from the beginning that you want to stick with. That's good. Don't just do
Your
the
name's
first
Jimmy
thing.
now.
Yeah. Do something that you're going to stick with. Like it's bad. It's hard to do a name change. That's a whole nother can of worms is name changing and all that. We'll go off on that, but that's you know, that's something to
Rebranding.
consider.
I wrote a whole article about it way back when.
Yep.
I gave somebody a couple of weeks ago. They were like, "Holy shit, that was good."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, thank
one of the ones
thank
I'll
goodness,"
repost,
because it was like 8 years ago. I was hoping it'd still be relevant.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, just overall, why branding is important. I did some research to find some data, just some research on how consumers view branding of a company, and this is general for any company or business, but still, I think it's relevant. Generally, there's 5 to 7 brand interactions before a consumer remembers a brand. So that's why consistency in your visual identity is so important, because you want those multiple interactions to trigger the same sort of response, the same sort of memory. That's huge. That's why you want to use the same colors, same logo, same font, same imaging, whatever it is. So those 5 to 7 interactions that the consumer has results in them actually remembering you and remembering you correctly. Another statistic said that consistent branding across all channels increases revenue by 23%. Don't know exactly how they're, getting that data, but I think the principle of it is solid, of having consistent branding across all of your channels will help.
Yep.
It is only going to benefit you. It cannot hurt you.
That is correct.
So this then going into the specific visual branding elements, we can blow through this pretty fast, but just logo. Obviously, got to have a logo. Hiring someone, you mentioned, that's definitely the best option.
That's my best advice.
Yeah, just hire someone.
Look, even if you think you're good at this, you suck at this.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a few of you out there that really have an artistic eye and that would painstakingly go over this for a month and dial in the right colors and then do the research, not just rely on yourself. This is a big problem, right? Be introspective enough to know that you need external help, even though if that means research. Like how long did we take to research the color on the new ServiceMonster logo?
I mean,
right?
A while.
Yeah.
I don't
we
remember.
spent time, and I'm not talking in terms of hours upon hours. I'm saying that you've taken the time to say, what are other people saying? What are the experts saying? And then you can break the rules once you've learned them if you want to. But man, really going and seeking out that information. Or you can pay someone else who's already doing that. Right? Like Ryan. And it's not that much money for the effort they put into it. So.
Yeah, so that's just something really important from the get-go. Have a good logo, and try to make it unique, please. I've seen on Instagram so many logos. Not that it's bad, and like a lot of there's some great companies that have this type of logo.
Sure.
But with like a drop of water with like a house in it. I mean, I've seen probably at least 10 different companies with some variation of that logo.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It gets the point across. I like the logo for what it represents as washing water in a house and everything, but it's not really unique anymore because so many people have copied it. So try to come up with something unique, something memorable.
And here's something to think about too, because I can see the immediate reaction being, well, Michael, you look at window cleaning accounts and Instagram across the nation, and so of course you're gonna get hypnosis, hypnosis from that. But when you actually look at your specific geographic area, well, I'm unique right now. But what's the danger of using a logo that everyone else is using everywhere else but where you are? Is that eventually 2 or 3 guys are going to pop up, they're going to start using that logo.
Yeah.
And then you're going to lose your uniqueness and you have no edge. So,
not something easy to copy and easy to kind of manipulate to be different enough to not be like, obvious plagiarism or trademark infringement. Do something cool with that. Just hire someone, like you said. Just go back to that. Just hire someone. Kind of same with that. Just fonts and colors. Pick a font or 2, stick to them in everything. Pick a few colors, stick to them in everything.
And fonts say a lot. I mean, a strong font in a italic has a certain feel to it. Communicates to Mr. or Mrs. Jones directly, right? A black and red asteroids type fonts with straight edges, that's dude, like all over it. I can sell that to guys all day long. More pastels, slightly scrolly fonts, but still legible and not stupid. Now I'm talking to Mrs. Jones. And that's before you actually start with copy.
Yep, exactly.
So,
yeah. That's the big thing with the fonts and the colors is just keeping them consistent, making that commitment. You got to make a commitment with this stuff. Another interesting little fact I found was how a brand uses color affects the visibility and reinforces brand recognition by up to 80%, kind of given, but a good thing to consider, again, to just kind of drive home this point of just being consistent with it.
I used to say when I give one-on-one marketing consults way back when, I used to say, look, if your brand is consistent enough, or if Mrs. Jones sees it 4 or 5 times on the truck, on the Post-it board in Little Johnny's back of Little Johnny's Little League field. Someone should be able to see a piece of paper blow across a football field, and you would recognize where it came from.
Exactly.
So the combination of fonts and colors and the way that the piece is put together should be highly recognizable across all channels.
Exactly. Yeah. So moving on to a website. Websites are crucial. You have to have a website. If you don't have one, make one. And I'm going to tell you how really easily. So Wix.com, not an ad, not a paid advertising.
Yeah, we don't know Wix, but they're good.
Like if Wix is fantastic for if you just need a simple website from a template. If you don't have time and money to hire someone to put together a website for you. With Wix, honestly, you can just pick a template, throw in your logo, change the text. It's a visual drag and drop page builder, so it's very intuitive.
And you can still copy and paste those web forms from ServiceMonster into your Wix page.
Exactly, yeah. That's one thing I put down too is about they're so important for lead capture and for customer contact. That's why it's important to have a website. It's a place for your ads to land, for people to land when they click on your ads.
Right.
When you have some sort of physical ad like a door hanger or whatever, have the website on there. That's just, it's so crucial these days, and I still see a lot of service businesses that don't. They just
Instagram and Facebook accounts, but no freaking
exactly.
website.
I've seen that. I see it a lot, and I'm like, well, you're doing great on Instagram and Facebook, and that's awesome.
But no place to land.
Just do a website. Like it's not that hard.
There's landing pages, SEO optimization, Facebook advertising, like all that stuff. That's something else
is your web presence in SEO. Like having a website helps you rank higher when people search for you. Having just a Google business listing, that's good, but having a website attached with it only helps. Unless you do sketchy stuff on your website and then you get, but don't. That's not really that common, I think.
You might not even know how to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, super important. Get a website. Use it for lead capture, customer contact, whatever they need. And also make your website name pretty short if you can. I see a lot where it's like so-and-so's window cleaning, and it's like 4 long words, and it's a long address, and it's like, it's the business name, which is good, but it's so hard to fit a long name on marketing material.
Kowalski and Sons window cleaning out of Bellingham, Washington.
Way too long.
.com.
Exactly. Way too long.
Kowalski.
Yeah. So make it something easy to spell. Simple,
especially for us dyslexics.
Yep, exactly. So that's a big thing that I think a lot of people don't even think about is how long their website address is.
Yeah.
We talked about truck and van wraps a little bit already. Just how having professional wrap is so important to just giving that professional image.
It changes
to your company.
The complete face of your company.
Yeah.
A white van pulling up, even if it's clean, versus even okay, not duct tape lettering or spray paint.
Oh man.
But a basic wrap you can get for about $2,500. You can go premium and spend as much as $8,500. It could be hot though. They're doing some amazing. I'm looking at a guy I don't know how he showed up on my Facebook feed, but he does vehicle wraps, custom vehicle wraps.
Okay.
And not for advertising, like instead of a paint job. And he's doing like Teslas and
that's a thing. Yeah,
Porsches
crazy.
and Ferraris, and some of the wraps are crap because they'll show up at a shop and it'll be like bubbling off or whatever, and he'll be like, yeah, this dude probably got a discount off somebody who had a lot of experience. But he's pumping out these vehicles and they're like matte gold and like iridescent. They'll look white until you look at them another way, and then it'll be pink, and like just some of the crazy. So you can spend $8,500 and get the coolest wrap ever, and that is a massive way to attract attention.
Yep.
And then if you can, even better, I'm going to go on a tangent here for a second.
Okay.
If you can theme it and then do crazy ass off the wall stuff. I got a dude who has a bubble machine. Swears by it.
Huh.
His entire community is based off this bubble machine. He absolutely loved it. It went down on him for like a week. He was in complete panic. And the kids just come running out, and everybody's like, it's happiness. He's bringing joy.
So it's like mounted on his truck.
They are associating that feeling of happiness and joy and playfulness with his brand, and it is sticking. So this is the kind of stuff.
Perfect right there.
Right?
That's a great example of a unique thing, a unique, not even a selling point. It has nothing to do with his business. It really is just.
And I haven't seen his wrap, but what if his wrap was a great blue wrap that had bubbles all over the side of it that matched the theme and what he's trying to do, and had maybe like, I don't know, clowns. Clowns are dangerous because there's so many people that are freaked out by clowns. I think both of you guys made a face.
Like, oh, I don't know, that'd be weird.
Richie beep beep, Richie beep beep.
Yeah, maybe not clowns.
Anyway,
I
so
wouldn't recommend that.
Wraps, good wraps. Yeah. Get a good wrap. It is it's your representation of your business. It's more than a brand, right? That truck is your business.
Yep.
Like, how do you want your business represented by business? That is a physical embodiment of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or trucks or whatever, trailers, so forth.
Yeah, whatever it is, your vehicle.
That's right.
Your work vehicles, trailers, everything. We can end there. The visual identity stuff. There's a lot more we could go through. Other branding elements.
Bring it back.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a great other podcast. Is not.
I spent too much time on SMTP.
Well, it's okay. It's good. It was relevant. I think we can go more in this in the future on not just visual brand identity, but messaging and the personality of your brand and the perceived value of your brand. All these things. I have stuff where we could go off on that for a while.
Also, pay attention. Like, we walk what we talk. And so you go look at our consistency. Go look at our identity. Go look at our imagery. Go look at our videos. Go look at our products. Consistency of our brand is paramount.
Yep.
And when we were small, right, the stickiness of the ServiceMonster tune was really good and playful for us.
Yep.
But now that we're, growing quickly and very formidable force, an amazing team, time to grow up a little bit.
Might get a few more comments like sad, no more monster. But most people are good about it. But
I know.
Yeah. Just wrapping it up then. It takes time to get it right.
That's right.
It takes time to get your brand right. And that's the thing is you can do trial and error with your branding stuff, like experiment a little bit. Because when you make the commitment, you want to be sure about it. But this is probably more important, I think, than a lot of service business owners think it is.
Of course.
It's one of those things.
I'm gonna catch flack for you don't need a real vet rap. Like, you don't really need to. Okay, fine. Yeah, you don't really need to do that.
Yeah. You don't need to.
You don't need to.
No.
Of course not.
You should. There's a difference
there. You don't need to make money either.
Yeah. You should.
You should.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun kind of thing, being able to talk about branding. So I enjoy it. It's fun. Yeah. It's interesting.
Very good. And I hope you were interested and entertained as well.
Yeah.
Until next time, thank you so much for your attention. Come find us on all your social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and so forth. podcasting platforms like SoundCloud and iTunes, and the one I've got on I got a new app player. So I really like
There's
it.
a lot of podcasts,
but the brand isn't
now.
sticky enough for me to remember it for this podcast. So sorry, unnamed podcasting platform.
Who is it? Who knows?
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Be safe.
Thanks.